Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God, keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Amen. It's been Yehuda, man. High levels, bro, high as could be. Word to Rastafari, there's a holler in me. Every morning when I wake up, spend time on my knees. No sneezing necessary, the blessings received. Who lesser than me? Not a soul. We all got it and passed on it like common codes. I got tired of blowing it like a snotty nose. When will he return? Nobody knows. So I plant my seeds daily and water the field. There's a lot of people out here ignoring he real. Putting money before him wasn't part of the deal. So I was being popular for a part of his meal. Feed me, Ezekiel, no Elliot. Heaven sent in the world full of these Hellenists. These Greek lovers, these genociders, these terrorists. The book's burning, give us another Exodus. I wanna see my people prosper.
You know, we have ones that's a Rastafari, live in the city, Kingston City, Manhattan,
Yeah.
like I, you know. We live amongst our universal brothers and sisters, and Rastafari is for each and every one. So it's not this weird thing where you have to live in the forest, no. But you have ones that live in the forest and they hold an order for the ones like I who can come in now and hold our meds and come to these places and remove ourselves from that type of way and still come find our brothers in the midst of the jungle as well as in the city.
Exactly.
So it's a brotherhood throughout universe.
Yeah,
iPhones included, cameras included, cars included, planes,
everything, man.
palace,
Yes, man.
huts,
Yes, man.
rivers, ocean, the whole thing. Huh?
Yeah, and the thing about it too as well is that Rastafari is not a cult. Yes?
No.
So we're not looking for more followers to say, hey, everyone have to come and be Rastafari. No, we're looking at people and their heart.
We are all about love.
And so here, G20, as the G20 is expected to commence tomorrow and Saturday. Here from the USA Today News Network, Trump arrives in Japan for the G20. What to expect from meetings with China's Xi Jinping and Russia's Vladimir Putin. There in Osaka, Japan, President Donald Trump arrived Thursday for the G20 summit in the city known as the Kitchen of Japan. But he's not here for the internationally renowned scorpion skewers or octopus balls. Instead, he'll be chewing on some pretty tough global challenges: a trade war with China, military-style tensions with Iran, stalled nuclear talks with North Korea, and whatever else might come up. We're going to be meeting with a lot of different countries, many of whom have been taking advantage of the United States, but not so much anymore, quote-unquote, Trump said before leaving the White House on Wednesday. While Trump will attend the G20 summit sessions with leaders from around the world, most of the real work will revolve around one-on-one meetings with key world leaders, particularly China's President Xi Jinping and Russia's President Vladimir Putin. So here is what to expect as far as USA Today is concerned. Trump meets Saturday with President Xi at what may be a make or break moment for a new trade agreement with China. Without it, the tariff trade war between the two countries could go on indefinitely, undercutting trade and growth in the world's two largest economies. Trump, who has threatened more tariffs if Xi does not make a deal, wants a new agreement with China to end what he calls their unfair trade practices, including currency manipulation and theft of trade secrets. China, which has defended the way it does business, says Trump needs a new agreement because the country's retaliatory tariffs are hurting American farmers and other key groups of voters. Few financial analysts expect Trump and Xi to sign a new agreement in Osaka. What's more likely, some sort of agreement to keep negotiating. Claiming that we've been ripped off by everybody over the years, Trump told reporters upon leaving the White House for the G20, we'll see what happens with China and Russia, with Japan, and many more countries. Trump meets Friday with Putin, one of the most scrutinized and inscrutable relationships in political history. It's their first sit-down since the release of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's report detailing efforts by Putin's government to interfere in the 2016 election or to the benefit of President Donald Trump. Some lawmakers note that Trump has always been reluctant to criticize Putin and Russia, and may be beholden to the Russian leader in some way. In a meeting last year in Helsinki, Finland, Trump seemed to accept Putin's denials of election interference over the conclusions reached by U.S. intelligence officials. He has gone out of his way to conceal details of the Helsinki discussion and for other chats he has had with the Russian leader during his presidency. Trump, who notes he has approved sanctions on Russia for its misbehavior, has denied allegations of Russian collusion with his campaign during the election. He says it's important to get along with Russia because they can help on problems like the civil war in Syria and aggression by Iran. But he has been unusually tight-lipped about the upcoming meeting, not even saying whether he will bring up the election interference and whether he'll warn Putin not to do it again in 2020. What I say to him is none of your business, he told reporters Wednesday. Trump attends the G20 a week after ordering a military strike on Iran for its decision to shoot down a U.S. drone, then suddenly changing his mind and imposing new economic sanctions instead. While awaiting Iran's next move, Trump is trying to get other countries to keep sanctions on Iran and pressure them into permanent commitment to give up nuclear weapons. On Tuesday, Trump threatened to use overwhelming force against Iran if it attacks U.S. assets or personnel, and adding that overwhelming will mean obliteration. Meanwhile, leaders like German Chancellor Angela Merkel, who is also scheduled to speak with Trump at the G20, have criticized him for pulling out of a multinational agreement in which Iran agreed to give up the means to make nuclear weapons in exchange for sanctions relief. Trump will speak with President Xi and President Putin about efforts to revive negotiations between the U.S. and North Korea over ending the latter's nuclear weapons program. The talk stalled with the February collapse of Trump's second summit with North Korean leader Kim Jung-Un, though the president said he and Kim have exchanged beautiful letters in recent weeks. After the G20 summit ends Saturday, Trump will fly to Seoul for meetings with South Korean President Moon Jae-in. Moon said this week that U.S. and North Korean officials are holding behind-the-scenes talks about a possible third summit between Trump and Kim, though Trump seemed to shoot down that idea, sort of. I'll be meeting with a lot of people, or a lot of other people, Trump said, adding, but I may be speaking to him in a different form. Trump is scheduled to have a working breakfast Saturday with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, mostly to talk about Iran, not the murder of a journalist in which the Saudis have been implicated. At top United Nations or UN human rights experts released a report last week detailed credible evidence that high-level officials in Saudi Arabia, including the Crown Prince known as Mohammed bin Salman or MBS, were involved in the death of Jamal Khashoggi, a Washington Post columnist. The Saudis have repeatedly denied wrongdoing. Trump travels to the G20 while Democrats take part in the first series of debates among its presidential candidates. Trump began attacking the Democrats during his Air Force One ride to Osaka, tweeting at one point that the first debate was boring. He also blasted NBC News for having technical difficulties during the broadcast. Expect more political food fighting from Trump during the G20 summit itself.
Put my right hand in Jesus, fly like an eagle, fight with these demons, shine light on my people, shine light on my people, shine light on my people, shine light on my people.